Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Greyscalegorilla live show. My name is Nick Campbell, and this is Chad Ashley. How are you, Chad Ashley?
I'm good. How are you, Nick Campbell?
Man, I'm feeling good. Thank you all for coming. It was a big one. We're so excited to dig into what we launched last week. Answer all of your questions. As always, we want to know where you're from in the comments. Do me a favor. Let me know where you're watching from. Thanks, Appa. We got the comments on the side. And let us know where you're seeing us here from, and if you have anyone in the industry, maybe your office, let them know we're live. We are going to be answering all your questions and also doing some demos here in a little bit of the brand new product that just came out last week. You guys can go grab it, called Greyscalegorilla Studios. So we're going to dive into that any minute now. Hello from India, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, amazing. Spain, what's up, Palmer?
Wow.
That was awesome. I always love seeing this. Minneapolis. Cheers to all of you. Thank you all for coming here. We got Brooklyn in the house. What's up, Luxon? Chad, how are you, good sir? Happy Tuesday, my man.
I'm good. I'm just so like last week after we got studio out, I just kind of like it's like somebody poked a hole in me and I just deflated. And I just went home that night and I just drank some bourbon and I just laid there like decompressing for like 2 days straight.
That's amazing. Yeah, that was quite honestly, this thing has been in the works for almost 2 years, I want to say, maybe just over. So this has been a huge project for us here at the studio, or at the Greyscalegorilla Studios. Now I'm going to make it extra confusing today.
Don't make me spit my coffee out, dude.
At the office. So yeah, it was a huge day. It was so great to see it out and people downloading it and using it. So we're going to show you that, and of course, answer all of your questions, and dig into how we've been using Studio internally for the last few months. How some of our beta testers have been using it to really speed up their workflow. Ben, thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for doing a demo as well on Twitter. Ben was showing off how fast you could get stuff in there. But let's do this. Let's tell everybody what we're doing today. Hey, good to see you, Ali. Oh, Vitas is here. Vitas says, can't believe how well it works with Houdini. Do me a favor. If you're in the chat here, let us know if you have downloaded and used Studio. And if you're like, what the heck is Studio? Don't worry. We're going to answer all that. We're going to talk, of course, answer any of your questions. We have kind of some frequently asked questions here as we release this thing. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, kind of why we built it, and show you a little bit of it in action as well. So we're going to do a demo later in Cinema 4D and maybe even Unreal. We're going to see if we could do it. No Houdini, Vitas. Maybe I got to kick it for you. Can we do a call-in show? We got to upgrade our tech, Chad. We got to get the call-in show going.
Didn't we used to be able to do that? I thought.
I don't know.
I think it was the old system we did.
I bet there is. You could go direct. You like invite a guest and just give them a login or whatever.
Right.
Do Studio. Ben, there we go.
Is that like Phil Collins, right?
Yeah, we got our Phil Collins. We got to do some karaoke, Bo. Let's see. Akash, we hear you. So we already got some questions here in the comments. Ahmad says used it in Cinema 4D. Thank you so much for giving it a go. We already got comments for 3ds Max and Maya. We do hear you. In fact, if you're out there, you're using anything other than Blender. So let's start from scratch. Welcome to the live show. We're here to talk about Greyscalegorilla Studio and of course answer any of our questions. Greyscalegorilla Studio has been in the works here at Greyscalegorilla for, let's just call it 2 years. And it all started when our own customers, we started getting comments, we start, seeing our friends at trade shows, and something became much more prevalent in the last few years, which is, I love your stuff. I use Greyscalegorilla HDRIs and materials and all this stuff all the time. How can I use it in other 3D applications? And we realized that even our own customers were using more than just one 3D application. This was something that was happening more and more. People are using Blender more and more, using something like Unreal to do real time, or if you need, to render very quickly. And the days of using one 3D app are long gone, and the days of using the right tool for the right job is here. So Greyscalegorilla Studio was born out of this idea. What if we can allow you to just get access to our entire 3D asset collection, download it once, download what you need, and then use it in any compatible 3D application with one click? And that was kind of the birth of the idea behind Greyscalegorilla Studio. Last week, it finally came out. It is now out, and if you're a Plus member, you have instant access to it. And even if you're not a Plus member, we now have a free version that you could go download right now, including all the plugins for Houdini, Blender, Cinema 4D, and Unreal. You could go install it all and get access to, I think it's over 50 free assets that you could use right now in your projects. So you can see how this thing works, you can see the compatibility, and you can see how fast it is. And then, of course, as soon as you upgrade to Plus, it unlocks everything, right? Day one. No credits, no limits, no worries. You just download it. Okay, so that's the quick, here we are. That's, if you're unaware of the launch last week, that's what happened. And if you haven't downloaded it, go download it. One thing we are hearing from our customers, like, hey, why should I upgrade, or why should I use Studio over the Greyscalegorilla library? And there's a lot of good reasons, and we're going to talk about those today. But I think it's something I wanted to say up front is you could use both right now. If you're in the middle of a project and you have stuff downloaded, you could use the Greyscalegorilla library as is. And then you could download Studio and use them side by side. So there's not an all or nothing situation. You can go try it and see the workflow. But stick around, because we're going to talk about some of the benefits and some of the ways that some of our customers are using it, and some of the ways we're using it that really made us go, this is way faster than using the library workflow. I'm going to mess it up. I'm not going to mess it up. Yep.
I'll be here to correct you.
Yeah,
that's my entire job right now.
If I say the old thing. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up a couple comments. Oh, I can't click on it there. I gotta click it here. So let's do that. Let's answer some questions, actually, because we got some coming in. And so if you have a question or anything to do with Greyscalegorilla Studio, we're here to answer it. And let's just address this one right now. So I Make Videos says, should I delete the old library? So we've been getting this question a lot, which is essentially, can I use, there's kind of two questions here. Can I use the existing library that I've already downloaded through the Greyscalegorilla hub? And the answer to that one is no.
You use it in Studio.
Yeah, exactly. So can I use all that stuff inside of the new Studio app because I already downloaded it through the hub? Essentially, do I have to re-download all this stuff? And the answer is yes. And the reason is all of those assets that are in the library that you downloaded are made specifically for one render engine. They're made for whatever one you downloaded, Redshift, Octane, or Arnold. And these new assets are designed from the start to work with all render engines eventually, right? Like with anything that uses a PBR standard workflow, right? So these are created from scratch, basically. We've remade all of our materials to be more compatible across the board. So you only have to do this once. The good news is once you download the Studio version, it will work in all compatible places. You do not have to, like you do in the library, download a different version for Octane. You don't have to download a different version for Redshift. You don't have to download a different version for Blender. Once you download it once, it works in all places. But for now, if you do have to separate your libraries. So if you're here watching and you're about to try Studio, make sure you pick a new empty folder somewhere on your hard drive to put all of this new stuff, just so it's separated. And the old stuff will continue to work if you use library, but separate it into a new folder.
Can I build off that? Yeah.
Yes, please.
So I think the thing that is tricky, and I get it because I've been using Plus in the library, getting everything through the hub, all that workflow since it started, right? So the idea of the old workflow using the hub and library is to download an entire collection to see whether or not you even like it, right? And so you start downloading all this stuff, and it's gigs on gigs, and your hard drive is filling up, right? And now with Studio, it's a natural sort of like way to think like, oh, so if I have to download stuff again because Studio doesn't use the same assets as library, then I have to go and download everything again, all over again. Well, that's yes and no, because the way that Studio works is it's sort of on demand. So you're going to grab an individual asset and download it in like 3 seconds if you have decent internet, and you'll be able to bring it into your scene, right? So you don't need to necessarily one-to-one, like, oh, I have all of MSMC from library on my hard drive. Does that mean you need to go for Studio and like download every single one of MSM? No, you can just grab the ones that you need because they're just there. You download them individually, you pop them into your scene, and it just kind of works really, really flawlessly like that. And I like to think of it like library was kind of like iTunes. Like you would have to download your album, your entire album, you download it all, wait for it, you have your like library. And then Studio is kind of like Spotify. It's kind of on demand, like you're grabbing what you need, an individual asset or song in this analogy. So that's kind of how I like to explain it. Hopefully that makes sense. It helped me to kind of like change the way I thought about it.
Yeah, you have to wait for the rip before you could listen to the first MP3. Now you just click on the song and you're done. All right, I'm going to close the overlay because I know we're recording and answering questions, maybe for later as well. So keep the questions coming. I'm seeing them. I see some +1s for Corona and V-Ray. So we're always looking at those comments. We're always seeing what our customers are using. People are using different render engines, different software all the time. That really is the revolution that we're going through right now. The almost splintering of where people are doing different motion design. So we're always on the lookout for the next thing we're going to support. We just supported 4 times more than we used to. So there's a huge expansion into obviously Blender. And just so you know, it's Cycles in Eevee and Blender. It's Unreal Engine. It works in both of the engines there, or both of the material types, and it also works in Houdini and Karma and Mantra and Redshift inside of Houdini. So that's the new compatibility, but keep those coming. I see the Corona, I see the V-Ray, I see the 3ds Max. We see it, and keep them coming because we are always looking for that next one that we're going to support. Let me jump into another question. Thanks, Ben. That was a good joke there. Let's see here. McFly says, where can I find the old models like the Lightkit Pro 3 stage? Right now, you can still find those in Lightkit Pro. I know that's Cinema 4D only, but I think we have a solution coming soon, relatively soon, that's going to solve this. So you might find some studio type things in the library. I know we might tease some things here at the end of the show, Chad, but do you have anything else you want to add to this question here?
I think if they're talking about the cyc walls, then yeah, that's still considered part of the plugin installation through the hub.
Oh, but I forgot. There's the monster and the coffee maker.
Yeah, but then there's also that other scene that that ships with Lightkit Pro. So I don't really know, McFly, which one you're talking about, but both of them are installed with the plugin via the hub.
Yeah, that's a good question. We don't have plans to move the little octopus monster in there, but we do have some classic models that we may need to add to the library. But those are not in there quite yet. Great reminder, though. Let's see. Chad, are you so happy that you called the first volume of Wood Volume 1? It's like a rapper coming out with like a big greatest hits, or not greatest hits, like a hit record, right? And it's called Volume 1. And everyone's waiting for Volume 2. And
there's yeah, dude, don't even get me started. Like if I could go back in time, I would rename a lot of these things. But yeah, Trey, so we have a lot of wood materials right now. In fact, I think we have maybe more than most. So we have, maybe you just haven't seen them, or maybe we're missing something that you're looking for, in which case let us know. But we have veneers, we have wood floors, we have parquet wood floors, we have unfinished woods and other assorted woods. But if there's a specific wood type that you're looking for, let me know, because actually I can't really talk too much about it, but we have a collection. We have a few more woods, nothing as huge as like unfinished wood or something like that. But we have a few woods that we're going to be doing this year, mainly because I want them and we don't have them currently, these specific species. So yeah, let me know, dude, if there's like a specific one you're looking for, and maybe we already have it, and if we don't have it, maybe we'll look at scanning it.
Yeah, I think we'll probably talk more about search, but I think something to see with Studio, we'll do a demo of it too, is there was a big push for a lot more tags and keywords and ways to find some of these assets. So there may be a species of wood or a type of wood that you searched for before that it might have always been there, it just wasn't seen. So make sure you search Studio, see if it pops up, and let us know. In the meantime, Chad's going to go change the title of Unfinished Wood to Unfinished Wood bracket Volume 2, close bracket. And then we'll just come out with volume.
I'm going to try
3.
never to do volumes again, but I don't know. Who knows? I might end up breaking my own rule.
It was good. I mean, I think it was optimistic. I think everyone's excited because they look so good. We got a question here from Tom. It says, do the HDRIs in Studio interface with HDRI Link? So as of right now, no. So the workflow for Studio is all the HDRIs are there. You can download them all. And the workflow for Studio is it's essentially 2 different ways. You can drag and drop any HDRI that you have downloaded into any path that is on your computer. So for me, I'm using Redshift. Inside of Redshift, it says, hey, which HDRI do you want to use? You can just click and drag into that field, and it will automatically essentially paste the direct path to that HDRI right inside of your project. It will even ask you if you want to add it to your project in the text folder, and we'll show you some more workflows around that later. But if you drag and drop it, it'll do that. You can also click the copy button, and it'll just literally copy the path of that HDRI into your clipboard. You can go over to any 3D software and paste it wherever HDRIs are accepted. This is the same with this is the same with textures, gobos, bokeh, all the texture maps, so the surface imperfections, anything that is a single image, essentially, you can do those workflows. What's really cool is it works in literally any 3D application. Anything you guys are throwing out, Max, Maya, Corona, other renderers we don't support yet, V-Ray, copy path and drag and drop. As long as it is a field like a path on your machine, it'll just work. So we even have some people using it in After Effects, for using HDRIs in After Effects, because it just works. So go check that out. It's not supported by HDRI Link yet. We have some thinking around how we could do that, but right now it's essentially just as fast. The only thing it won't do is let you click 50 different HDRIs and instantly see it. That still works the fastest right now in HDRI Link. And for now, maybe you leave your favorite HDRIs inside of the library and use Link if you're used to that workflow. And you can still use Studio to use all the new features. So again, I just wanted to reiterate, we could mix and match if we want, but we are looking at ways to speed that up even more, even though it's pretty fast right now. But thank you.
I gotta say, like,
question.
So here's a confession. I don't use.
Should I be sitting down?
Yeah, sure. You already are sitting down, I think. Maybe you should lay down.
Just making sure. Okay, hold
on. I don't use the Plus library anymore, and I thought I would miss HDRI Link a lot more than I have, because the truth of it is I use like the same 5 HDRIs for everything. And so I just have gotten in the habit of just dragging them in, like you said, like dragging them in from studio onto my dome light, which we can show when we do a demo. So yeah, it's just it like I don't really ever click through HDRI link style like boom boom boom. I don't feel like I need that anymore. But if that's something that you absolutely love, then you should probably, for the time being, stick with the current workflow.
Yeah, same here. I thought I would miss it more. I've also been using exclusively Studio for quite a few months now, since we've been really heavily testing it. And I think I'm the same. I have, maybe not five. I think it's hard for me to say a favorite HDRI, but there's definitely like 20 over the years that are my go-tos. And what's really cool is you could favorite stuff now, and we'll do a demo here and show you. It's kind of weird to talk about software without it on the screen, but we'll change that here soon. You can click on your favorites, and then you can actually go there and just drag and drop any of the HDRIs, because I still have that thing where I'm like, is this an outdoor feeling? Is this an indoor vibe? Is it a studio vibe? When it's not a practically realistic scene, when it's more MoGraphy and fun, sometimes I don't know until I see it. And that's where HDRI Link really comes through. You're just like demoing. But even for me, it's like I have some good greatest hits I'm always going to. And if it's not working, I can now experiment with some other ones, but I'm in the same boat. Thank you for the question. Let's go here. Got a question from Bram. Of that name. Congrats on launching Studio. Thank you, Bram. I'm doing some more architectural renders lately using Greyscalegorilla Plus. Any plans to include some architectural 3D people in the library Studio? Smiley face, question mark. One thing to check out is we do have some really cool characters in the Studio right now. And I think if you type in things like man or woman into the Studio, they will pop up. Now, they are more they're more like figurines, like almost like toy style. They're not super realistic humans necessarily, but I think they might fit the vibe of like, you want to show the scale of something, you want to show characters walking around inside of your scene. I would give those a try. You might be surprised, especially with some of the materials. They're all UV, they're all ready to go. You can put different things and clothing on them and all that stuff. So check out those models that are already in the Studio. Chad, you have anything else to add here?
I mean, they're stylized, so if that's kind of the vibe you're going for, or maybe you're cool with that, then awesome. But as far as like realistic ArcViz man with briefcase, woman looking, no, we don't have anything like that. And there's probably quite a few other places that have pretty giant libraries of those. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but yeah, we don't have anything like that planned. But you could try the Happy Toolbox ones. They're right in there now.
Thank you for the question, Deirdre. Thanks as always. She's got a link here for all the woods. Now that'll go to our online library. Something you could do today is, of course, if you're a Plus member, you could download Studio and you can search. And of course, you could see everything in the library, even if you don't have it downloaded. So just to be aware, you can literally download Studio and search for what you want. And then, of course, when you're ready to go, you download it and it downloads fast and you could send it directly into whatever app you're using. And so I keep saying we're going to demo, but I do want to answer a few more questions and then we'll head into a couple demos. We're going to show you how Chad's been using it, which I'm really excited to see. And then I'll show you, if we have time, some Unreal Engine just to show it in other places. All right. ArchViz World says, using this with Blender is great. Dude, that's awesome. Let me know a little bit more about what you do. I'm guessing ArchViz, just from the name. I'm just saying it might be just from the name. But let me know a little bit more about how you're using Greyscalegorilla Plus and Studio inside of Blender, because we love that. We've obviously been around in the Cinema 4D world for a long time, but over the last few years, it's been really cool to meet more people in Blender and Unreal, of course. I was speaking at the Unreal conference not too long ago, and got to meet some incredible artists. And I always love seeing how our stuff is being used in other applications. So let me know. Give me send us some stuff. And let's answer a few more questions, and then we'll hop in and do some demos here. Let's see here. Trey says he's not complaining about the current woods, just so you know. He loves them. They are looking good. Don't forget the unfinished woods. Unfinished woods are some of my favorite. They're very natural, and the latest version of Redshift, if you've updated to, I think it literally came out last week. If you have the latest version of Redshift, it automatically adds displacement to any material that you add to your scene, which could be a good thing or bad thing, but it's something to be aware of. And those have awesome displacement built right in. And then, of course, you'll still have to use the Redshift tag to add more geometry and all that. But something I just want to say out loud, check out those unfinished woods. I love those things. All right. We got a question here. It says, we need preview customization to be able to zoom in and out of previews like the hub. So I'm guessing this is like different thumbnail sizes, stuff like that.
We hear you.
Yep.
We want that too.
Yep. It is on the list for sure. So we definitely hear you on that one. That is a thing that that is on our radar. So keep that kind of feedback coming. And we felt it too. It didn't hit version 1. I think that's important to say. Like, this is version 1 of Greyscalegorilla Studio. It does a lot. It's been very rock solid when using the 4 major applications that it works with, using the plugins, the download speed, all that stuff's been amazing. So we wanted to get the core functionality right, and we wanted to make it fast, and we wanted to make it easy to use. And we have many more things planned for this application. But for example, the one you're mentioning. So just want to say that out loud. Keep this kind of feedback coming, because we want to know how artists are using this. This is what we do here. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Just some love here from Ahmad. I love the interface of the studio. It's very minimalistic, and the thumbnail animations are neat. I agree. Team did an incredible job designing and coding this and making this feel like a cohesive experience, and it's fast to use and see everything. So thank you for that. All right, let's see here. All right, we got a recommendation for some rock and ice materials. That's a pretty good one. Let's see here. Simon says he has like 5 HDRIs he likes too. Vita says, I just dragged and dropped a Creative Studio into the dome-like texture slot, and it worked. Boom, just like that. So Vitas has been using this, and he wasn't even aware you could do this. So I'm glad we're here telling everybody. Drag and drop works super great, and of course, copy paste as well. So make sure you check that out. And we'll do a demo here in a minute. Let's see here for Houdini. Oh, inside of Houdini, he's saying. Boom, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
We have a question here. Can I add custom HDRIs to Studio? No, not right now. So that is a feature inside of the library. And it might be one of the few features that is not better in Studio. I got to be honest. It's faster. It's easier to search. You don't have to download all this stuff. It's compatible in more places. This thing right here, we don't have the ability yet. But again, we're always looking for future versions of what we're going to include. So I'll just answer this plainly. Not right now, but we always love seeing feedback like this. Deirdre's linking to the everyday people models if you want to check those out. And don't forget, if you hit this website right here and you want to try Studio, you just want to see how this works in your workflow. Even if you're not a Plus member, you could download a free version of Studio, sign in with a free Greyscalegorilla account, and start using it today. You'll have access to all of our free assets. You could start using them in your projects, and you're off to it. And then as soon as you upgrade to Plus, you get everything, right? All right, so Let me get a few more
So
questions.
many
and
questions.
I know we
Some
keep
good
getting
ones
good
in
ones.
there.
I keep saying we're going to jump in this demo, which we will. Let's see here. Thanks. I'll check them out. Get Studio. Thanks for the link. Thanks, Deirdre. Get some food materials. That's a good one there.
I got a story about that.
Let's see here. All right. We got Simon. We ever get some more funky hair textures? Oh, like the old legacy ones. Those are really old, the old hair ones. Now, those probably still work. No plans for hair right now. I think something important is we want to make sure that anything that is inside of Studio is going to be pretty much compatible wherever you do 3D. So something very specific like, okay, this is a hair preset for Cinema 4D, probably won't show up in Studio. So I think something important is that is a part of the birth of this application. We know that you're using stuff in more than one application. We want to make sure this stuff works where you work, and things like that won't be showing up inside of Studio. Let's answer this one. So what about Signal? We get this question all the time. Thanks for the question, Mojo. Right now, we don't have immediate plans to convert all the plugins over to all platforms or anything like that. But we are open to these ideas. So I think something with Studio is this is the first big jump for we're seeing what our customers are doing, and this is a first big jump for us into these new worlds. And we want to make sure that we have a very solid foundation inside of Blender. Obviously, we already support the Cinema 4D market very heavily, and will continue to, and that's not going away. But we want to make sure we have this very solid foundation with Studio when it comes to HDRIs, materials, textures, gobos, and make sure all of this stuff works as is in all of these platforms before we jump into bringing everything over. I think the other thing to recognize is something like certain plugins are not needed in all applications. So we're really going to take a look into all of the platforms and see which problems really need to be solved. Okay, so each application has their strengths and weaknesses, and plugins kind of fill in those gaps. So we're excited to learn more about that, and again, learn how you all work and help you speed it up. So there's no immediate plans, I'll say that, but we're always looking at comments like this as well. All right, let's see here. A few more. I'll let you answer this one, Chad. Netchik, I'm going to go with that. Howdy, is it possible to have access to the individual bitmaps for use for us that use unsupported renders like V-Ray and Corona? Chad, you have a thought about that one?
Go for it.
Go for it.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like all of our materials follow the standard surface workflow. So if you are using V-Ray or Corona, honestly, I think they kind of use a slightly different model. But if you're used to plugging in roughness and subsurface weights and all that stuff into your render engine, then you're totally welcome to essentially grab those bitmaps and use them in V-Ray or Corona. The only downside would be that you don't get that like quick send to your 3D app. Because we don't support those yet. But yeah, you can totally do it.
Yep. You can find those maps, plug them in, and use them. That's really been a workaround for a lot of our customers until Studio. Obviously, that's not as fun or as fast to like hand make your own stuff, but this is what our own customers have been doing inside of Blender or in Real up until now. Up until now that Studio is supported, it's much easier. You click it, you send it, and it just works. So yeah, go for it. I love that answer. All right, I think 2 more and we're in. We're gonna head on in after this and do a demo. Chad's going to show you how he's been using Studio and some tips and tricks, and we'll answer any questions while you see it as well. So let's see here. Trey says, love the gobos. Any more animated gobos planned? Maybe fan blades rotating or something like that. I like that one, Trey. That's like moody. You get the noir fan moving, the industrial Fan, I like that one. You want to put that one on the list there, Chad?
Yeah, hopefully somebody can on the team can record that.
It'd be like call it the Trey fan. So I don't know. We'll come up with a better one. We're just spitballing, Trey.
Yeah, I think it should be like detective, like
Noir.
what's a movie that would have that? I don't even know. I have to think about it.
That's a good one. Coffeezilla. All right, let's see. Bruno says, "Are your textures ready for tessellation in Unreal 5?" As of right now, so I'm not even an Unreal noob. I mean, I am very basic in understanding and using Unreal. It's been really fun to learn. As far as I've understood it, it is ready to go. I think the latest version, I think you do need 5.4. They started adding easier tessellation or nanite support or whatever that is. As far as I can see, if it has a displacement map in it, it starts to displace your geometry. Just drag and drop it on an object and you're good to go. You will have to add more geometry, and that's not as simple as far as I've seen, and as in like Cinema 4D, where you just add a NURB or something like that, or whatever they call it now.
Wow, you just dated yourself so bad.
I'll hold on. Let me recline. Grandpa's got to recline. But yes, I think the answer is yes. It's ready to rock. Displacement's looking really good inside of Unreal. We'll have some demos of that relatively soon as well. Rob says, "Hey, I'm using the hub in Cinema 4D. Is there an advantage now to go the new way?" So I'd say there's at least 5 major reasons to use Greyscalegorilla Studio over the hub. And I do not have this prepared, so I might miss one, but let me see if we can go through them. Number one, as we stated earlier, if you weren't here, you don't have to go all the way into Studio right now. If you're digging hub, you could try Studio, download it, make sure you pick a new folder to download the Studio assets into, and you can literally interchange them and use them side by side. So that's not even a reason. I'm just saying you can go play with it yourself and see. Number one, that wasn't a real reason. Number one, you don't have to download the entire collection to try one asset. If we come out with 1,000 new assets tomorrow, as we've been known to do, you don't have to download all of them to try one. If we have a new tile collection, if we have a new cement collection, if we have a new wood collection, you can open Studio, download one of them, and use it in your project or demo it right away. You don't have to download and wait for all the gigabytes to go. Number two, of course, these assets work in more than just Cinema 4D. So for those of you who are using more than Cinema 4D, which is more and more of our customers lately, you could download it once inside of Studio, and of course, it'll work in any of our supported applications. And even if you are only in Cinema 4D, if you use more than one renderer, you also don't have to download it twice. You could download it once in Studio, and it will automatically know which renderer you're using. So if you have an Octane project and you use Greyscalegorilla Studio, it will automatically build that material for Octane. If you switch to Arnold or Redshift, it will see the renderer you're using and instantly then click send and build it for the render that you're using. So render choice, cinema, I don't know if you want to call those 2 options, but I'm going to call that one. I'm going to talk about speed of search. So you can now search and find things much faster using the new Studio, and find things much faster. So that's 3. Number 4 is favorites. So I have my favorite materials, my favorite HDRIs, my favorite gobos. As I use them, as if I use anything more than twice, I'm favorite at it. And so now I can actually search my favorites. Oftentimes those are already downloaded as well, and I could just send them right away. I know there's one more, but I'm gonna let Chad add a few of his favorites and some of the reasons he's using Studio over the Greyscalegorilla Hub.
I mean, I'd rather just show it.
Demo time, baby.
Right? Like,
dude, we walked right into this.
Like, enough of this. I'm gonna show you why I use it over the Plus library, and I'm not trying to, the Plus library served us well for many a year. But I'm going to open up the Plus library, and then I'm going to open up Studio, and we're going to look at why I think it's a better workflow for us.
Let's do it. I'm going to hop into Chad's machine here, and we're going to continue this one live. That's a way better idea, Chad. All right, I got you coming up on the screen. You are up. I'm going to make it full screen. I'm going to get our faces out of here. And take it away, Chad. We are here in Cinema 4D. Go.
Yeah,
go
so, the older workflow Plus library, let's just go ahead and open up that. And you can see just down here in the lower left how long it takes to even load that library, especially if you have a lot of collections loaded. And in this workflow, you've got basically a bunch of collections over here to the left. And if you don't know the name of the collection that you're looking for, then this can be really daunting because there's a lot of stuff in here. And it's actually, it can be overwhelming. And there's also no good way to necessarily, filter a search or do any sort of like Boolean search, right? Because it's all just like kind of a silly, search for one thing. If we search for wood, we get that. And then obviously we got all these different thumbnails. They're not uniform because they were made over the past 8 years. So if you want to try something new, like let's say something new comes out, you have to have been paying attention because, maybe you missed us on social, or you didn't know the new thing came out. And because we're inside of Cinema, we don't really have the ability to like ping you and let you know that something new has come out. So if you're not paying attention and you're trying to grab something new, you'd have to come into the hub and you'd have to download the entire collection, gigs and gigs and gigs potentially of stuff just to see what this new thing is and whether or not you like it. Well, in this using Studio, let's go ahead and launch Studio. With Studio, we have a standalone application that could be docked off to the side of your 3D application, or you can put it on a second monitor. And immediately you're greeted with this home page experience that shows you what's new. So these are the new collections. These are new individual assets from those collections, some new models, some new textures. And down here at the bottom, we've got some other new stuff, some featured collections that we're featuring, showing people new stuff that they may have missed, or maybe something cool that we are sort of like pushing out again, maybe an older collection or something. But this experience right off the bat, in my opinion, is better because now if something new comes out, like Zalige comes out, these Zalige tiles are great. And let's say, wow, those are great. I don't need to download this entire collection to see the thumbnails or to get an idea if it's something that I want. I can literally click on an asset, be like, yeah, that looks cool. Let me see what the close-up looks cool. Let me check out, it's got displacement, looks like a little bit of offset in those tiles. That's cool. I'm going to favorite this because I don't necessarily need this right now, but I might need it later. So I'm going to click on the little heart, favorite it, and maybe keep on looking for something else that I might want. Then I can just jump back into my favorites, and there's my Zalige tile. And this is the best part because if I find something that I like, I don't necessarily need to download it unless I want to use it. I can just leave it in my favorites. Maybe I want to hold on to it for later so I don't forget. But to download it is really, really fast. But first, before I do that, I'm going to connect this to Cinema 4D. It knows that I have Cinema open. It knows what render engine that I have chosen, which is going to be Redshift. And I can just immediately hit connect, and it turns green. It says, cool, I've connected to Cinema 4D. Now, if I download Zalige tile, you can see how fast it goes. And boom, it just downloaded all the maps. Everything's all ready. Now, all I have to do is send it to my scene. So it's going to actually, another cool feature specifically for Cinema 4D is that whatever object I have selected, it's going to automatically also assign that material to that object. So I'm going to grab, this is going to be a really weird demo, but I'm going to grab the wood tray. We'll grab this tray right here. And let's get rid of that material. Let's bring Studio back up because I want to dock it off to the side. I'm on a Mac and I'm using this really cool tool called Raycast to do all my window management. So I'm going to dock it over here, and then I'm going to dock Cinema over there. All right, with that wood tray selected, let's also turn on materials so we can see what materials we have. I'm just going to send that material over, and it automatically assigns it to that object. I don't know why you'd want a Zalige tile tray, but here it is. So another really cool thing that you can do is specifically to Cinema 4D is if I jump into the preferences for this and I look at my Greyscalegorilla C4D Connect, because we have Studio and then we have Connect plugins for all the different 3D programs. So whenever we're saying C4D Connect, that's what we're talking about, this plugin that you install to connect Studio to your application. So you can see here we've got options here where I can automatically assign it to my selected object, which is what I just did. You can select it. You can automatically assign it to selected polygons, which is really cool. So you have like a polygon selection and you're just trying to like grab something and put it on that polygon selection. You can do that. But my favorite feature is the copy textures to text folder. This is something that our current Plus library does not do. So if you're sending to a farm and you are trying to make sure that you're keeping everything in your text folder so that you can easily upload it to a render farm, this feature is great. So if I open up my text folder for the project that I'm in right now, you can see we just downloaded, we just installed the Zalige tiles, and here they are. So I don't have to worry. Because in previous, using the library and the hub, you might start working with a file, but then you have to collect all your assets into your text folder to send them off to a farm. You don't have to worry about that. This has been a game changer for me because I use Deadline to render out all of our stuff locally here on a couple of machines. So being able to have everything go right into that text folder is great. So, I mean, there you go. It's pretty easy. I'm actually going to get rid of that texture because it looks kind of weird. But yeah, so those are all the reasons that I'm using it over the Plus library. And obviously the search is really fast. So if we want to, like, I don't know, let's jump back into here. Maybe let's search for Creative Office. We've got all these, the beloved Creative Office HDRI. I'll show you how to assign that in a second. We've got, I don't know, let's do every day, if I can spell. We've got everyday people, which is what Deirdre was mentioning in the chat. Plus we have all the EMC materials because that's going to come up under everyday material collection. So you can see just how fast it is to be able to find what you're looking for. So let me give you a quick tour though, because I feel like that is, let me split this back off and we're going to do this. So let's talk a little bit more about the tour of the interface real quick. So obviously we just talked about new, which is kind of the splash page or the landing page. And then we have over on the left, we have our list of favorites, which you can then easily unfavorite to clear out. So if we want to clear that Zalige tile off, we just we just click on the heart. Downloads, this is going to show you everything that you have downloaded. And this is kind of a great way to like see, okay, I know this stuff is downloaded on my hard drive. I can come in here and like find stuff that I've downloaded and maybe use it again in a future project, or maybe I want to favorite something like specifically this one or something to use later. And we have a lot of plans for favorites that we can't really talk about yet, but this is going to be a big area of growth for us, is going to be favorites. Right below downloads, we have collections. So those of you that know our collections from the library, this is really going to be great for you to be able to find those materials and things that you're used to, that you like. Maybe you use the hell out of colorful plastics. Cool, they're all right here. You can find all the old collections that you're familiar with. So then you're probably wondering, well, if that's collections, then what's categories? Categories is your very typical sort of like asset library category. So if we jump into materials, we've broken all of our assets down into your typical categories: ceramic, concrete, fabrics, things like that. So if you're not familiar with what our collections are and you have no idea what the hell these things mean, you can just come down into categories and hunt around for what you're looking for, or you can just simply search. And we've got popular searches here for you as well. In addition to that, you can do a lot of filtering and sorting. So let's say we want to look for concrete, but we don't want to see concrete HDRIs. We want to just see concrete materials. I can filter that out just to look at concrete materials. I can also sort based on alphabetic order or newest. I typically leave it alphabetical, but because I typically already know what's new. But yeah, so down here at the bottom, I don't know how deep you want me to go with this, but like settings is, typically what you would expect. This is where you're going to find all your settings. This is where you're going to point it to your the hard drive or the folder on your hard drive that you want to be downloading all of your assets to. And you're choosing this, I think happens automatically, or wait, actually, no, I think you do have to choose your 3D application, but the render is going to happen automatically.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason you forget where the connector plugins are and you're like, oh, where do I get those? You can find a link to those right here in expert settings too. And advanced, I never touch this. This is all just stuff that's beyond my comprehension. But yeah, so this app is like, Nick was saying, it's like a 1.0, but like we really want everyone to like download it and try it and just start using it and give us suggestions. We have a huge list of things that we want to do with Studio, and it's really exciting. We have so much stuff that we wish we could do it all right now, but these things take time. But yeah, it's a platform that we plan on putting a lot of effort into.
Yeah, this is a great demo. Can I request a couple things, Chad? Can you show two things? Find maybe a different wood for those trays and just kind of show how quickly you could download, send it, and replace it in the project. And then I'll also have you show off the like drag and drop HDRI or copy paste, whatever your favorite one is, just to show that process for anyone thinking about how it is different from HDRI Link.
Absolutely. All right, so let's grab I already know which one I want to use, so I'm going to grab a veneer. So I'm going to search for veneer, and I think I'm going to use a maple. If I could type. I think I accidentally hit my emoji keyboard.
I always accidentally hit that.
I know. Okay, so here's one that I like a lot. So this one I've already had downloaded, so it's going to be pretty instant. I've got my wood tray selected, so I'm just going to hit send, and we'll wait for the IPR to catch up. And it's already shown up here in the main viewport, and there's our maple. Or maybe we want to do something darker. Maybe we want to do a veneer walnut. And let's grab this one, and we'll send that one over too, and it'll just automatically add it right there. Let me get rid of that first material. Maybe we want to try something a little bit darker, and there we go. Pretty easy. Good. And if we wanted to, like, I don't know, throw a mug in there, we could just be like, all right, let's grab this mug. Let's place it right here on the table. And let's scale it down a little bit. And let's rotate it. Something like that. Maybe want to grab, let's grab a ceramic material. Ceramic.
Download one too, Chad, just so they can see how fast that is.
Yep, that one went really, really fast. Let's grab one that I think I don't have downloaded, which is, let's try this one right here. Let's grab that one. And it's done, and we'll send that over. Get rid of that first one. There it is.
Boom.
And let's pick our focal point. That is going to be right there. Done. It's
good.
All right, so let's grab an HDRI next, because I think that's kind of an interesting workflow. All right, so let's hide. I'm going to go ahead and turn off all my other lights. And we'll turn on this dome light. Uh-oh. There we go.
You're screen sharing and rendering. I
know. We'll see.
Your computer's doing a lot.
But yeah, the dome light thing is kind of nice. So like, let's jump back into, let's go to collections, HDRIs. Let's look at, what are you feeling like? Maybe a
studio one, or whatever you're feeling.
Let's try. I love this one here. I use it a lot. It's what's it called? Cafe 01. So okay, we've got this HDRI. It's already downloaded. So let's grab a different one that's not downloaded. So we'll download this one right here, and it's all right. It's done. So I'm just gonna, with the dome light selected, and you can see I've got the path visible right here. I'm just gonna drag this, and we get this nifty little Greyscalegorilla icon, and I'm just gonna let go on path, and it's gonna say this image is not part of your project. Do you want to make it part of your project? And we'll say yes, because we want to be able to send this to the farm later. So it's going to, you can see it updated right here. There it is. It's already there. And there it's updated as well. So let's bring the intensity up. And there you go. And we can do something more drastic too if we want to. Like maybe we want to do a studio HDRI. Let's jump back into HDRIs. Let's do a let's see, Pro Studios Metal. Now let's do this one. This one has like some weird colors. Let's try that. Let's download that, and we're going to drag that over. Yes, we want to copy it over. This one's going to be weird looking. I can tell already. But, oh yeah, it's really dark too. Let's just bring that. You actually don't see the colors as much as I thought you would. Anyway, so you can see just how simple it is. It's like really simple. That's the whole point of Studio, is that we wanted to make sure that it was like really easy to use, comfortable, not confusing, very intuitive. And that's really kind of our whole ethos, is just like, let's just make it really usable, something that people want to have up all day, off to the side, a companion app, if you will. And it's been great for me. That's actually how I use it. I use it kind of like this all day.
That's awesome. This is wonderful. We may need a separate stream just to talk about your Mac here. We're getting some questions, Chad. So why don't we do a short version? People are super excited here. You're using a Mac and see all. What's your setup? Give us a little update.
Yeah, so I'm using a MacBook Pro Max, M3 Max, I think it is, and it freaking screams with Redshift. I'm super impressed with it. I started off using it as mostly like a machine to use on the road or use at home, and then I slowly started using it more and more every single day. And now it's my de facto machine, and I just send everything off to our PC farm to render. So I'm really loving it so far, honestly. And I'm like, as you can see from the headphones, I'm like all in on the ecosystem.
Oh man, I didn't even see that. We got to switch back here so people could check out what color headphones you got. Yeah, I'll reiterate too. I've been testing it more on Mac, especially with Studio. And I have an M1 Ultra Studio. This is really going to get confusing. It's the Mac Studio Ultra M1, and that's been really snappy. It's not as fast as the Puget machines and the super fast NVIDIA cards and all that stuff. But in Chad's world, he's actually getting best of both worlds. He's using the Mac. It's portable. He can bring it on the road, and then send it to the farm when he needs the ultimate in NVIDIA cranks, right? Like, so it's a really cool workflow. I'm excited to play with it more, and there's something really it was really changing in the Mac world with these new M chips. There was quite a few years there where there was really no other choice. So more choice is always better, especially for creativity and for artists. So it's really cool to see you playing here, and see how fast it is too, man.
Yeah, it's been great, and obviously Studio just looks amazing on Mac because it doesn't have that like Windows vibe. But don't feel bad, Windows people. I still use my Windows machine all the time for rendering and stuff. So it's just, yeah, I've been really digging this experiment.
The one more thing, or actually, I'll do it in my demo. So here's what we'll do. Thank you, Chad. This is looking amazing. Let's answer a few more questions. I'm gonna share with you a few the comments that we've gotten about Studio already, and then I'm gonna show you a quick Unreal demo, and then we'll end here, in 15 minutes or so. Does that sound okay?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Let's pop back into here. Let's do. Oh, that's not right. There we go. All right. You are all in, baby. Look at those headphones. You got no, the thermos is not Mac approved, but you can put a sticker on there if you want.
Oh, dude, you can't diss, man. This is like my favorite.
No, that's a good one.
If you're not familiar with this brand, Mirror, they're amazing.
Oh, that does look good. All right, it says Mac. Does it work with GPU? What? Yeah, so that was all GPU. Everything you saw there was Redshift GPU, just like you would see. And yeah, it's using all the M chip GPU.
Yep.
And it's quick. And it's real snappy. It's got a ton of RAM. It helps a lot. Bobby says, makes me happy. Company I'm contracting just sent me a M3 Max, but wasn't sure if I'd stick with it or my PC. So there's definitely, it's hard to say it's all or nothing. You got to go, jump all in. But I think this is like a glimmer of more choice, right?
Yes.
The PC Mac wars are as tiring to go debate better, worse. You have your camp, you have your tribe. That's all good. That's not what we're saying. I think the days of you have to use the only one type of machine, only NVIDIA cards, it might be going away. As Mac might be making faster and faster M chips. I think that's what's exciting about this new future. More options, more competitive, and maybe get a little portability here and be able to look dev on the road and maybe still send it to the render farm when you get home. So there's really some cool options here with this. Well, that's for another show.
Yeah, we should do another show, like a deeper dive for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so get your last batch of questions ready. We'll do a quick one at the end here. Let me do a quick screen share. I want to share with you a few comments we got about some of our customers using Greyscalegorilla Studio already. And then I'll show you a quick demo just inside of another app because while it's designed to make sure that it works very fast in Cinema 4D, that is not going away. One of my favorite things is now you can use all of your favorite assets in Blender, Unreal, and Houdini alongside of Cinema 4D. So I wanted to show you at least one of those. We're going to probably jump in Unreal, and I'll just show you a quick demo in case you want to play with that. But first, let me share a few. I gotta sign in. Hold on one sec. This is live TV, folks. I gotta sign into my account so I could show you some slides. Okay, let's go full screen here. And let me show you this, and we'll hop into Unreal and Greyscalegorilla Studio. So let's do that. And I think I click that. So I just want to show you this. So a couple things. If you haven't checked out Studio and you're a Plus member, there's no upcharge, there's no upsell, there's no extra tier. It is included in every Plus membership. So whether you're monthly or annual, this is now in your account. You can go download Studio, sign in using your Greyscalegorilla account, and get access to everything. And unlike a lot of other libraries, there's no credits, there's no limits, there's nothing. Everything inside of Greyscalegorilla Studio is yours to start downloading, start using in any of these supported applications, and you're good to go. And there's also something we've never done before, which is have a way to try and use one of our plugins and products with a free account. So we now have a free version of Studio. You could download Studio. It's the same version, just when you log in, you're going to log in with a free Greyscalegorilla account, and you will have access to it's over 50 assets right away, right in your library, and all of the things that Chad just showed will work. So all of the plugins are included. If you want to use this in any of the supported renderers and any of the supported applications, you're good to go. And if you've always wanted to try some of our assets and literally maybe use some of our favorite HDRIs and some of our favorite materials, we have an awesome collection of free assets. We didn't put our least favorite ones in the free account. We put some of our favorite ones that we use all the time because we know that you'll start using them and see the power and see the beauty of what we do here at Greyscalegorilla. And when it comes time to upgrade and buy Plus, it'll unlock everything for your next project. So just want to say that out loud. That is on this site. So you can go to grayscalegorilla.com. I think it is /studio. We might have, yeah, there it is. Deirdre put a link there. And here you can download and create a free Grayscale Gorilla account if you're not a member. And if you are a member, download it and use all the stuff you're using, you just saw today right away. So let us know. Let us know when you jump in and use your first one. Let us know how fast you think it is, because we're really proud of that. Okay, a couple things I wanted to share with you from some of our customers here and some of our beta testers. And if you've been on the fence, you're like, do I want to use this over the hub version or the library? Maybe this will help. So Art says that he downloaded, installed, connected, and started using it in under 10 minutes. Grayscale Gorilla Studio is beyond smooth. Love it. So thanks to Art. I wanted to share that one with you guys. Billy's been awesome helping us out in the beta. He says, huge for you guys to ship this. It's exactly the asset bridge workflow, UI and UX that I prefer. And so that's awesome. Thank you, Billy. Thanks for testing out, and thanks for the comment. Jim actually uses mostly Unreal, but I know he's a expert in a ton of 3D applications. Jim says, actual useful tools, killer update with the studio version. So thank you, Jim. It's good to see you, man. Lorchin says, honestly, guys, this should be considered a scheduled A narcotic and made illegal, because this is a gateway drug and you know it. It is fun to use. I'll give you that. Thank you for that one. It is, Grant says it works flawlessly. And I gotta give a shout out to the Grayscale Gorilla team and the dev team, really specifically for making this thing really rock solid. The download speeds, the ability to just click and it works and it sends it to all these apps has been really rock solid for a long time. And it's the base level part of this. If that didn't work, none of the fancy other features would matter. So we're really proud and really happy. And I'm personally really proud of our team to build such a stable version 1 that it's rock solid. You don't have to worry about it. Download the app, sign in, and start downloading, start sending it, start copying and pasting 100 times. It just works. So thank you for that, Grant. And thanks for the team for making this awesome launch day version 1. And finally, Mike says, I was fortunate enough to help with the beta test for the last few months. For any current Grayscale Gorilla users in Cinema 4D, it immediately replaced the in-app hub for all of my Grayscale Gorilla assets. Switching had almost no friction at all and no need to download an entire collection to start. So thank you for that, Mike. It's exactly why we built this, and it's exactly what we love to see. We've been working on this internally for quite a few months now, and it's always great to actually have it in public, have real artists use this thing and give us honest feedback. So we love seeing this stuff within the first week of launching, actual artists using it, downloading it. So I want to give a shout out to for you. And one more. Sorry, Sean, you're not in the full screen. Sean says, so much prefer this new workflow. Download only what you need. Love it. Thank you, Sean. Sean's an amazing artist too. Switched to helped us out at beta, and also has been using it and just loves it. So thank you for that. Now let's head on into Unreal, and I'll show you really quickly just the workflow, just so you can see that it's working in more than just Cinema 4D. So here is, you may have seen this in the past. This is like a recreation of our cloth tutorial that we've done for Cinema 4D, but this is inside of Unreal. This is all playing back in real time. And let's say I want to change the materials here. How do we do it? Well, of course, you load up Grayscale Gorilla Studio. Here we're on the Windows version, and we could search for anything here. We could just type in cloth. And Chad, maybe you could help me find some cloth that would look unique on these little pillows here. This is kind of the recreation using the canvas. But we have so much more cloth since then. So what are you thinking? Performance fabrics?
Maybe something from, I would go into the collections and go to the fabric collection. There's a lot of good stuff. So go to collections, materials, and then look for the octopus looking dude right there at the top. Oop, you passed it.
Oh yeah, fabric materials. Yeah, these
Any
are
of
great.
those are great.
All right, so I'm gonna download a couple. I have some already here, so I got this one. Um, I like this fabric yellow. There's another fabric yellow. I'm sending it. And by the way, I'm already connected to Unreal Engine right over here. And while I click these, they're just all getting sent and made specifically for Unreal. I'm going to try fabric black. I'm going to download that one. Meanwhile, pink is downloaded. If you ever, like me, and you also click a bunch at a time and you're seeing them download and you're like, wait, where did all those go? You can also go to downloads and you can sort by newest. And what that'll do, this will actually sort by um, some of the newer ones in the collection, but it also sorts by the latest one downloaded. So you can see here, all the ones we just clicked are ready to go. So if you're like, wait, where's that one I clicked? Now you can come here, search for newest, or just filter by newest. And now we could just send the latest few that we downloaded into Unreal. Okay, so those are being converted. With Unreal, it's unique because it does have to copy a version into the folder. So you can see it's importing and we're all set to go. Okay, so in this case, we can come over here into our geometry and go to our pillow alembic, which is our animated cloth here. And here are the original materials. We can now go to our content browser, and it looks like I'm already in the Greyscalegorilla folder, and we have all these new ones here ready to go. And you can just drag and drop. So let's go with yellow. Let's go here for that one. You have to scale that a bit. You can actually start to see some of the tessellation that we mentioned earlier. It's already bulging and kind of adding that. We'll have to scale that down, but you get the point. The gray one, Chad, I don't know if I'm going to pick the best colors here, but let's see what else we got. Let's go up top, see if we have any up here. This one looks good. Let's get the speckle. And of course, we need some more colors, so let's get the pink. Okay, so we could scale this down. So let's do that before we animate. Let's go into the pink one. And if you just double click, there's a couple things in here. You can just adjust your tiling. I'm thinking we got to go way smaller. It's not just twice as much. That's looking a little bit better. I'm gonna go 3 by 3. I'm gonna do the same in the black one here, which I think is right there. I'm gonna go 3 by 3. And of course, this yellow one, which is down at the bottom. There it is, yellow ridge. May have to do more. Yeah, that's looking better. All right, so now we replaced them all that quick. We have a whole new version. We could hit play and send, do a quick render and send this off to our client, see if they like our new colors. So really, really quick to see. This is the thing I mentioned earlier. You could start to see some of the displacement happening already, but we do probably have to add a little bit more geometry to this. I won't make that a part of the tutorial. They make it a lot easier with some of these new motion design tools, but we'll have some videos out soon talking about this. So boom, just like that, we have a whole new look. We have everything different. And of course, the same thing works with HDRIs as well. You just copy and paste your lighting or just drag it in and it works same in Unreal. So that's it. We'll have more demos here. Let us know if you want to see anything specific inside of Unreal, Blender, Houdini. We have some amazing artists who actually know this software. Like I said, I got the basics down here, but some really amazing artists going to show how they're using Greyscalegorilla Studio inside of other applications as well. All right, so let's head back. We'll answer a few more questions. I may have missed a few here. And we will head out. Why does it do that? Let's go. Oh, buddy. Wait, we got to go full screen now. I'm out. Go full screen. Oh, buddy. What is up? He's like, he's like, you said you'd only be gone an hour. Are you almost
I know.
done?
He's like, what's going on? Oh, why is he talking so much?
Oh, buddy. What a cutie. All right, let's flip it back. Bring this down, not full screen, and let's answer a few more questions if you got them. Let me know if you have any specific questions about any of the other applications that we support. Again, that list is Cinema 4D, Houdini, Blender, and Unreal Engine. And it works the same way. We have a plugin for each of those. It'll import and build it specifically for the renderer you're using, ready to go. All right, looks like we have a couple questions. We'll answer these, a little lightning round, and then we'll head out. And of course, we'll see you in another video real soon. We have a ton more videos and other things coming. If you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you're following us there. We have a ton of little tips and videos coming out on that platform as well. So, all right, let's do a couple more and then we'll roll. Let's see here. Nick is a default Mac screensaver. I don't know. I'm never really looking at my desktop, so I don't really care what's there. Yeah, I got all my apps like full screened usually. Let's see here. Ooh, animated HDRIs, Trey. You got a couple. We got some good ideas over here. That might be a little stressful on your hard drive if it's really HDRI and it's high frame rate, but it's a cool idea. I'll kind of look into that. Let's see here. Top says he uninstalled the studio. Don't do that.
No.
He messed it up. He said he messed up. All right, let's go. Boom. We got Bobby says, yes, Marty, fully into Studio instead of Plus so fast. Thank you for that. That's awesome. We got a whoa. I don't know when the whoa showed up, Eric, but I'm just gonna pretend it's when I was like dragging stuff inside of Unreal and I was playing real time, because that's always pretty amazing. Yes, Unreal integration. Okay, there it is. We got our answer right there. Thank you, Eric. Unreal integration is built right in. And again, you can even try this for free if you're using Unreal. And again, even if you're a Plus member and you're like, let me see how this works in Unreal or Blender, download it, and you can start using all of your assets anywhere. Maya users, are you okay? They're going to be fine. We're getting the message here with some of the Autodesk products. We just spent a lot of time making sure that Blender and Unreal and Houdini are rock solid for you guys. So I wouldn't say, these products are coming right away, but it is on our radar, especially when it comes to our customers and what you all are using to create. So we're always looking at this. And we get a lot of Maya and 3ds Max comments all the time. Let's see here. A few more questions. Let's see. Also, RenderMan. Oh, we got RenderMan. Look at that. Little Pixar shout out.
Somebody was asking about future collections. So if you haven't joined our Discord, we highly recommend joining our Discord. And once you do, read through the rules, grab yourself a Plus role if you're a Plus member, and then you'll get access to a sneak peek channel where we post cryptic images of upcoming collections and assets. So yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, there's always some sneak peeks on what the team's been working on. They do want to hear your food, your what happened to the food renderer story.
Yeah, I posted a little bit about it in there, but we can let's save that. We are already like almost an hour and a half now, so
we're rolling late today. Time. Yeah, so okay, we have two now future videos we got to do. We got the Mac one, and then we got the what we'll call like secret behind the scenes stories, the lost material collection. What happened to the food collection?
We could have a whole show dedicated to all of our fails.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all of you out there are creating things for a living. You have to try things, and some of those things work and some of those things don't work. So that'll be a really fun story to share with you guys.
Ooh, you know what? While we're here, Nick and I have been talking a bit about this, and I want to know what everybody thinks. Should we bring the podcast back? Hit us in the comments. Let us know. We've been thinking about it.
Let us know. I mean, that's kind of that would be the perfect place to talk about this stuff too. right? There are things visually that we need to do, like, when we show off the app and do that, but maybe there's place to do more audio stuff. You guys driving in the car? Is anyone driving in the office anymore? I don't know. Where are you
I
listening
do.
to podcasts? I guess you do. I guess I do too. I'm not too far away, but I listen the heck out of podcasts, so maybe you're onto something. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this afterwards. The comments are still there. It's just the live comments aren't. So put them in YouTube or wherever you're watching this. Jake says, who helped work on the food collection. That was a time. Jake, we might have to bring you in for some story. Trey says, yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. Trey says, misses hearing and seeing you guys. To be honest, we've been working really hard behind the scenes. The team's been cranking away at making sure that Greyscalegorilla Studio was a rock solid release. This is a big new future for our customers. We've seen the 3D landscape change so much since we started over 15 years ago now. And we always want to make sure we're doing our best to stay on top of trends and new technology that our own customers and future motion design artists, 3D artists, ArchViz artists, product render artists, our broadcast artists are using. And so this is a huge step for us as well. So Greyscalegorilla Studio has been a huge project for us to make sure that we're compatible with how motion designers are using 3D. So we're so excited it's out. It's version 1. We're so excited to show as we progress this. And it's the new platform for a lot of things that we have planned. So again, if you're a Plus member, go download it, go check it out. You can use it right away. Start using it in your projects. And again, you could go download the free version and give it a try right now. We get a lot of yes pleases for the podcast. Bobby says he's listening while he vacuums. You got to get the AirPods, so you get the noise cancellation, and then you're good. McFly says no, we don't want it. Oh, he says JK, yes, please. Okay, there we go. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for another great live show. Thank you, Chad, for joining me. And thank you, Chad, for making this thing beautiful. It was such an exciting moment I'll just share a personal story and we'll get out of here. Such an exciting moment to see Chad's face light up the first time he really started using Greyscalegorilla Studio. In his own work, we were beta testing, we were checking to make sure all the basics were there, and then one day we look up and Chad's using it as he's creating amazing art, and we knew we were onto something when that happened. Like, it's one thing to say, okay, let's build something that everyone that'll be compatible everywhere, but it was a whole new special moment to see Chad, who's been using the Greyscalegorilla library and the hub and was a major part of making that happen, start to use Studio. And so thank you, Chad, for making this thing beautiful, making it easy to use for all of us. And thank you to our entire team for obviously helping here in the comments. See you there putting up links, Deirdre and the team helping out here. But each and every one of you who made this thing possible, who launched this out and made an amazing rock solid version 1 for our customers to start using, start downloading, and starting to see the future of where we're headed. So thank you, team, for everything you do and getting this thing out. It's been an amazing launch. We will have much more soon to show you. And Chad, I'm going to give you the last word before we wave off and say goodbye.
Jeez.
I'm always the one talking, so you get to end this one.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. All I want to say is thanks to all our members. We couldn't do this without you. It literally is amazing to have all of you out there making amazing stuff with our stuff. It's just really, so share with us what you're making and tag us on social, because that's why we do what we do. We love to see what you make.